longer chief of the fire department.
I'm delighted once again
in the District of Columbia. Now to breaking news on Capitol Hill and an announcement from Maryland Senator Barbara Mikulski.
And to be joined by my colleague in the Senate, Senator Ben Cardin. This is the neighborhood where I've spent most of my life, where I've learned the values that have guided my life, and where important things have happened here. We're right in the neighborhood and exactly in the path of the expressway that I got into politics challenging. Growing up here in East Baltimore was a real community. It's been an urban village. People lived, worked, and shopped and worshiped all here. But you know, it's not so much what we did, but it's about what we believed. Here I learned the values from my family, my mother and father, from the nuns and priests who taught me, from the people in the neighborhood themselves, neighbor always helping neighbor, and that we were in this together. My great-grandmother landed here just a few blocks away with little money in her pocket but big dreams in her heart. I got the chance to share in those dreams. We learned about patriotism, neighbor helping neighbor, that we were all in this together. And my mother and father had a little neighborhood grocery store, and every day my mother and father would walk across the street, open up those stores and say, "Good morning, can I help you?" And that's the way I was raised, this whole sense of service. And even today, as I go down to Washington, commuting from Baltimore, looking at the Capitol, I ask myself, "Good morning, how can I help you?" So service for me is about solving problems, helping my constituents, making sure that they not only get by, but that they get ahead, and never, ever putting their needs on a back burner. Now, in 2016, my re-election would be on the horizon. I have thought long and hard about the next 2 years. And I had to ask myself this question: who am I campaigning for? Am I campaigning for me, or am I campaigning for my constituents? I had to decide how I would spend my time, fighting for my job or fighting for their job. Do I spend my time raising money, or do I spend my time raising hell? Do I focus on my election, or do I focus on the next generation? Do I spend my time promising what I would do, or do I do it now and do it the way I like to do? So as I thought about who am I campaigning for, it really became clear that I'm going to campaign for the people. I want to campaign for the people of Maryland. I want to make sure they have a future, that they have a job, that they have promise and opportunity. So I'm here today in Fells Point to announce that I will not be seeking a sixth term in the United States Senate. This has been a hard decision to make. I have served in the Senate for a while, and at the conclusion of this term, I will have served over 30 years. That's hard to believe. And I want the people of Maryland to know there's nothing gloomy about this announcement. There's no health problem. I'm not frustrated with the Senate. The Senate will always be what the Senate is. But what I have decided that is, where do I spend my time? I want to give 120% of my time focused on my constituents, because it's never been about me. It's always been about them. And I'm going to spend the next 2 years focusing on how I can help Maryland, how I can help how I can help the nation, focusing on the middle class. My agenda will be, how can I give the middle class, both here in this state and around the country, a raise? I've yet to finish the job I started with Lilly Ledbetter, to make sure women do get equal pay and equal work and are not harassed or punished for even fighting for it. I want to make sure that when they revisit the tax code, that I give targeted tax breaks, while others want to have tax breaks and jobs. I want to have tax breaks to send kids to college. When others are looking for big deductions for big corporations, I want to make sure we raise the child care deduction to $6,000 a year, to have a new caregiver tax break to help those who are taking care of someone with a serious illness. Or those who are taking care of someone with Alzheimer's, like that took the life of my father. And for our young people, really to focus on the next 2 years to truly make college more affordable through a variety of programs. I'll be introducing legislation to do that. And to make sure our veterans, we keep our promises, and for our seniors, honor thy father and their mother is not only a great commandment to live by, but we need to make sure we keep that safety net. So to all the people of Maryland and even those around the country who are watching or listening now, remember, for the next 2 years, I will be here, working the way I do, 100%, fighting the way I do, being strong in principle, but trying to build those bipartisan coalitions. And when this term is done, I will know that I have given it my very best shot. And I'm going to thank the people of Maryland for the trust that they've given me. I'm going to thank Senator Cardin and for being the best partner, and Senator Sarbanes that you could have, for a great staff that I know will be answering the phones to say, what the hell did she just do? And the answer is, I'm just creating an opportunity to make sure I give Maryland all that I've got so that the people I represent have a shot at a better and more prosperous way ahead. So thank you very much, and that concludes my announcement. But though I'm turning a new page, make no mistake, we're not writing the last chapter. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to take a few of them.